You have heard it before. Food is food, as long as you hit your calories. But what if, for 30 days, almost everything you eat is ultra-processed? You feel bloated, tired after meals, always somehow hungry again, and you are not sure if it is just getting older or something deeper. Tonight's cast lives in your gut, trillions of microbes, your gut lining, satiety hormones, blood sugar curves, and the low-grade fires of inflammation. We are going to treat your digestive tract like a laboratory, and ultra-processed food like a month-long experiment. By ultra-processed we mean industrial formulations, low in intact fiber, rich in refined starches, sugars, fats, salt and additives. Your microbiome is like a garden. Diverse species fed by fiber grow compounds that protect your gut and metabolism. Change the food supply for that garden, and the entire ecosystem shifts quickly. In the next 20 minutes, you will see what 30 days of ultra-processed eating can do to your microbes, your gut lining, your blood sugar, and even your mood. Because the real question is not, are these foods tasty? It is, what do they quietly reprogram inside you? We will watch from inside your body's command center as it tries to cope with 30 days of mostly factory food. Day after day, meal after meal, you keep choosing the bag, the box, the bottle, almost never the whole food plate. By the end, you will know what actually changes, how fast it can happen, and which parts are reversible if you stop. We will compare two invisible movies, a month of mostly whole foods and a month where the factory takes over your plate. So let us press play on day 1. What happens to your gut the moment ultra-processed becomes your default fuel? Day 1 starts innocently enough. Sweet cereal, sugary coffee, something from a box, no real fiber, little protein. Within an hour, blood sugar spikes sharply. Your pancreas fires insulin to drag it back down. Refined starches and sugars rush through your small intestine, asking almost nothing from your digestive machinery. Down in the colon, fiber-loving microbes find themselves underfed, while sugar-loving species get a small party. Because this breakfast lacks bulk and protein, satiety hormones like GLP-1 rise weakly and hunger comes back faster. A couple of hours later, blood sugar dips, energy crashes, and your brain whispers, snack time. You reach again for something crunchy, salty, sweet. Ultra-processed foods are designed to be the easiest, yes, hyperpalatable combinations of sugar, fat, and salt push dopamine higher than simple whole food snacks. By lunch, your gut has seen almost no intact plants, but a lot of emulsifiers, refined flours, and industrial oils. That night you feel heavy, gassy, a bit of heartburn, and you blame it on eating too late, not on the ingredient list. On a microscopic level, your gut lining meets more additives and less fiber, a small nudge toward irritation. By day 3, a pattern emerges, fast sugar spikes, fast crashes, and almost no fermentable fiber reaching the colon. You are strangely hungry again shortly after eating, because your gut hormones and stretch receptors were never really satisfied. Within days, some microbial diversity can start shrinking, while species that thrive on processed food expand. Bloating, gas, or unpredictable bowel movements are often the first messages your gut sends when it dislikes the menu. By day 5, your baseline energy feels lower. You are awake, but rarely feel truly refreshed. Inflammatory markers may still be normal on paper, but they are drifting upward in the background. After just 1 week, your gut ecosystem, blood sugar stability, and hunger signals all look a little more chaotic. You reassure yourself that it is only food, only temporary. Your microbiome is not quite as relaxed. From the outside, nothing dramatic is happening yet. Inside, the 30-day gut experiment is just getting started. By week 2, your body's command center has seen enough to realize this is not a one-off weekend, it is a new normal. Protective species that love fiber lose territory, while microbes that tolerate sugar and emulsifiers claim more space. Short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which feed and protect your gut lining, may drop when fermentable fiber disappears. A thinner mucus layer plus less butyrate can make your gut barrier a little leakier, letting more irritants reach the bloodstream. Some additives and low fiber textures may disturb mucus and microbes, especially when they dominate your plate. Refined carbs drive sharper ups and downs in blood sugar, especially when eaten without much protein or fiber. Big insulin spikes followed by rapid drops can leave you hungry again sooner, pushing you to graze all day. Cravings feel like weak willpower, but much of the drive comes from how your gut and brain have been stimulated. Over time, inflammatory noise and reward signals can blur leptin's message that you have already had enough. Your energy graph starts to resemble your blood sugar graph: spiky, unpredictable, rarely stable. Irritability and brain fog often arrive hand in hand with those post-meal sugar slumps. A less diverse microbiome may produce fewer beneficial metabolites that support mood and stress resilience. Late night. Ultra-processed snacks push blood sugar and digestion into the hours your gut expected to be resting. Your natural hunger cues drift. Sometimes you eat while not truly hungry. Sometimes you are starving at odd hours. Bowel habits may become looser, smellier, or more erratic as different microbial groups take the lead. Low-grade inflammation rising from the gut does not stay in the gut. Your heart, vessels, and brain all receive the memo. You label it tired and busy. Physiology calls it unstable fuel and chronic, low-level stress on your systems. Even in 2 weeks, studies show noticeable shifts in which microbial families dominate when ultra-processed food takes over. Your hunger/fullness orchestra becomes more like a band tuning chaotically than a tight performance. You can be overfed in calories and underfed in fiber and micronutrients at the same time. Less fermentable fiber means mucus-producing cells have less reason and resource to maintain a thick, protective layer. Some of the sugar your muscles do not use quickly gets rerouted toward liver fat and triglyceride production. Snacks become an automatic coping mechanism. Your gut-brain axis has learned that ultra-processed equals quick relief. High blood sugar volatility is linked to feeling more tired, foggy, and headachy, even without full-blown diabetes. By day 20, the story is less about one bad meal and more about a remodeled, less resilient gut environment. Your weight may have only nudged up, but waistline and visceral fat risk are starting to shift. The more your brain pairs comfort with these foods, the louder the evening cravings shout. Poorer sleep feeds back into appetite hormones the next day, making you seek even more quick energy. Low-grade inflammation and unstable fuel do not cause every mood problem, but they rarely help. Diet pattern over weeks tells your microbiome whether to maintain a fortress. Let the walls thin. Ultra-processed intake alone is one risk. Stacked with stress, poor sleep, and inactivity, the picture gets much darker. In clinic, we do not just ask about calories. We ask what fraction of your plate is factory-built. The good news: many early changes, cravings, energy swings, mild inflammation, can improve in weeks if you change course. 30 straight days of ultra-processed does not guarantee disease, but it clearly trains your systems toward a more fragile baseline. The conflict is simple: repeat this month on autopilot or change what your gut garden gets to live on. To answer that, we need to zoom deeper into your microbiome, your gut barrier, and your hunger hormones. Let us walk into the lab and watch what 30 days of ultra-processed food actually do under the microscope. We will go system by system, because your gut is more than just a tube where food disappears. Think of them as characters in your 30-day food movie. Each one reacts differently to the menu you chose. Let us switch the command center to deep dive mode and see what is salvageable if you change what you eat next. We will start with the microbes, then follow the ripple outward to your gut wall, your blood, your hormones, and your brain. Your microbiome is highly responsive to diet. Days to weeks of ultra-processed are enough to measurably change its composition. Fiber-feeding species shrink without their favorite fuel, while sugar-tolerant microbes expand in the new environment. As SCFA production drops, you lose some of their benefits: barrier support, anti-inflammatory tone, and better insulin sensitivity. Some evidence suggests low-fiber, high-processed patterns nudge mucus production down, leaving your gut wall more exposed. Immune cells stationed along the gut respond to these changes with more inflammatory whispers into your bloodstream. Not a gaping hole, but subtle increases in permeability allow more bacterial fragments into circulation, stoking systemic inflammation. Your liver now has to juggle extra sugar, more industrial fats, and a stream of molecules from the gut it did not see as often before. Ultra-processed meals, even at similar calories, often produce higher sugar spikes and steeper drops. Strong, frequent insulin spikes gently bias more energy toward storage, especially when muscles are not very active. In some people, sugar overcorrections lead to mild reactive hypoglycemia, shaky, ravenous, unfocused soon after eating. Meals low in fiber and protein often silence ghrelin only briefly. Hunger returns faster than your schedule expects. Satiety hormones like GLP-1 and PYY respond more vigorously to bulky protein and fiber-rich meals than to calorie-matched ultra-processed ones. Your gut cares about stretch, nutrients, and fiber, not just calories when deciding how full to tell your brain you are. Highly engineered flavors and textures can teach your brain to expect a bigger dopamine payoff from packaged foods than from simple meals. The more your diet is ultra-processed, the more often you eat for reward, rather than true energy needs. Your day becomes a series of small booms and busts, instead of steady, boring, sustainable energy. Cells receiving erratic floods of glucose and lipids may experience more oxidative stress and less efficient energy production. Again, food is not the only factor, but poorer diet quality often travels with more brain fog and low mood. Some microbes thrive on the very foods you crave and can influence the signals that shape those cravings. An irritated gut environment nudges immune tone away from calm surveillance and toward chronic, low-level alarm. 30 days alone won't cause diabetes or heart disease, but repeated months like this stack those odds over years. Different bodies express this pattern differently through weight, blood sugar, inflammation, mood, or a blend of all four. The hopeful part, bloating, energy swings, cravings, and some inflammation, can improve within weeks of changing your inputs. 2 months from now, your internal graphs could look utterly different, depending on which 30-day story you repeat. In clinic, we see office workers who did not change calories as much as they changed the amount of packaging around their food. For people at the edge of diabetes, shifting away from ultra-processed can flatten dangerous glucose curves surprisingly fast. Some with sensitive guts notice more symptoms on highly processed patterns and relief when whole foods return, if introduced carefully. Better blood sugar control and calmer inflammation often translate into deeper, more restorative sleep. When your gut and blood sugar are less chaotic, your muscles and heart can perform with less drama. Microbiome diversity and SCFA production can rebound over weeks to months of feeding them better substrates. Think of every plant-based, minimally processed meal as watering and reseeding a garden you have been neglecting. Your intestines care far more about patterns than about any single cheat meal. When your gut environment improves, your liver, heart, and brain quietly thank you as well. From this chair, you are not a victim of your cravings. You are the one person who chooses what this system has to work with. Expect bloating and energy to shift first, cravings and sleep next, and deeper risk markers later. Just as a month of ultra-processed changed you in one direction, a month of more real food can pull you back. So we have watched what 30 days can do to your microbes, your inflammation, your sugar curves, and your appetite wiring. These foods do not just fill your stomach, they send repeated instructions to how your gut and brain should behave. Every system we have touched runs on a two-way arrow, worse with more ultra-processed, better with less. Now let us turn this into a realistic plan you can follow without becoming afraid of your own pantry. The sweet spot is not zero-joy food. It is a life where whole and minimally processed meals clearly outnumber ultra-processed ones. For 30 days, you might aim for at least 2 real food meals a day and keep ultra-processed to a small supporting role. Start by feeding your microbes. Add vegetables, beans, fruit and intact grains, not just subtracting treat foods. Swap sugary cereal for oats and fruit, chips for nuts and an apple, soda for water or tea. Simple swaps add up. Anchor meals with protein and fiber so satiety hormones rise properly and you stay full longer. A quick rule: the longer and more technical the ingredient list, the more often you should ask, do I want this daily? Move ultra-processed items from the daily staple column into the weekly treat or occasional experiment column. Make the easiest food to reach something your gut garden actually likes. Packed meals beat vending machines when you are hungry, busy, and stressed. If you have been low fiber for a long time, increase gradually so your microbes and your gas levels can adjust. Water and movement help your gut move food along, reducing bloating and constipation as you shift diet. Steady meal timing, with real meals instead of endless grazing, calms blood sugar and appetite hormones. Liquid sugar is one of the quickest wins. Your gut and liver breathe easier without it. If you tolerate them, fermented foods can help reintroduce friendly microbes and their metabolites. Use sleep and stress tools other than food. Your gut does not need to carry your entire emotional life. Run the opposite experiment for 30 days. More fiber, less factory, and watch what your gut reports back. You do not need perfection. Your microbiome will happily respond to better most days. Identity statements help your daily choices catch up with the story you want to live. Your plate does not just shape your own microbiome. It influences what the people around you see as normal. As a physician, my advice is blunt. Ultra-processed foods are best treated as sometimes foods, not the backbone of your diet. You only get one gut ecosystem. It is cheaper to maintain than to repair. Future you either glides through days with steady energy or negotiates every meal with reflux, bloating, and pills. Life will always bring busy weeks and takeout. The goal is a pattern your gut can live with, not a diet to feel guilty about. Let your end-of-day reward be genuine rest, not just another spike and crash in a bag. Give it time, and mostly real food becomes your new normal, not a 30-day stunt. In one breath, ultra-processed food reshapes your microbiome, shakes your sugar, and stirs up inflammation, and cutting back lets your gut stabilize again. Where your daily meals sit, on this spectrum matters more than any single superfood or supplement. You have seen both movies, 30 days that teach your gut to struggle, and 30 days that help it breathe again. This is not about fear, it is about leverage, using food as daily input your gut can actually work with. The next time your hand reaches for the easiest option, remember what your gut is quietly asking for. Your next 30 days are unwritten. You can rerun the ultra-processed experiment or test a different script. My professional challenge: give your gut 30 days where real food clearly wins on your plate and see how you feel. If this helped you see your gut and food differently, hit like, subscribe, and stay. For more science told like a movie, not a lecture. Share this with the friend who jokes they live on junk. Their microbiome has a voice in this story too. Now it is your turn. Honestly, how much of your month is made of ultra-processed foods, and what would your gut say if it could vote on that?